yesterday, I've realized that a lot of people are cheering for what appears to be the Zoom platform. And I was curious, like, why are they cheering? What happened? Well, apparently they took a firm stance in preserving and protecting artistic freedom. So I do appreciate the framing, because this is actually true. You know, it sounds a lot worse when you say, oh, defending adult games or defending not safe for work titles, because most people aren't even about that. Most people are like, generally, no, like, artistic freedom in a just society should exist. Like, as long as you open a book and you have a pencil, like, you should be able to write whatever the fuck you want, and then you should be able to sell it, right? And if it causes a problem, if it normalizes something, like, well, maybe there's something wrong with society. Maybe, like, not enough education has been done to reverse the process where people are incapable of reading Game of Thrones without becoming part of a rape culture. I'm just saying, you know, like, there should be a difference between fact and fiction, and a lot of resources and effort shouldn't be done in order to police books or to police petty shit like video games, and actually be done to tackle crime, I would say. But it is what it is, you know, we don't live in that society, and apparently you have a Zoom platform taking a brave stance against the censors. And they're basically saying that there have been a number of adult titles delisting in the industry, and they're very concerned because one of their payment processors made them aware that a fellow member of the industry was also concerned about their content. So, like, there's a lot of concerning going on, right? Like, everyone is concerned now. It's like, well, what video games are you selling? It's like, being a video game developer is also, in 2025, is very similar to being a drug dealer, right? Like, you're a suspicious person. You're harming society. You're normalizing things, while the concerned individuals that are normalizing censorship and that are normalizing payment processors to go after legal businesses, they're not doing anything wrong. So anyway, like, they discussed with PayPal, and they discussed with Stripe, and they worked with contacts at the payment processors to develop solutions to ensure the right of free speech and freedom of expression. So they added an opt-in security option for two-factor authentication using time-based one-time password as safeguard consumer accounts. And many of their customers have expressed difficulty in being able to make purchases with our current payment processors, so they're examining alternatives. The first one of these upgrades is a wallet system for future purchases, blah, 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 right? Sounds a lot like an advertisement when I was reading this. And they're saying that in an email to Game One Linux, one of their team said they expect the delisting situation to expand further and include video games like GTA and Duke Nukem. A lot of people think that's ridiculous, and I think it's not. It's based on the culture, right? Like, if you guys remember, 15 years ago, the conversation was about violent video games. Like, no one gave a single flying fuck if you had anime characters in bathing suits in your video game. Like, that wasn't even, like, flying on the radar. Like, you had the Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball, and you had Goku taking a tinkle with his little penis on national television, at least in Europe. No one cared, right? Like, that wasn't a topic for conversation. However, people noticing the violence in Dragon Ball Z, like Frieza impaling Krillin with a horn that went through his chest and Krillin starts puking blood, that was the issue. Now the situation is completely reversed. And so it depends on the cultural sensibilities at the time. Like, usually the teenagers have different sensibilities than the parents. Historically speaking, that was the case, right? And so the idea that GTA can become problematic is true. In fact, it may already be true. Like, if you guys noticed, when they did the remake for GTA, they actually removed the strippers and the hookers and a lot of the themes that existed in the previous game. Was it because of payment processors? I mean, it could be, right? Like, the way the censorship works isn't that the payment processor knocks at your door and tells you remove this or do that. No, they have, like, a list of terms of conduct, and you need to hire consultants that sole job is to make sure that you adhere to the list, which is very vague. And so sometimes they over-censor, right? Like, the system is designed to get people to over-censor. Now, looking at this, is Zoom actually the brave warriors? Like, have they fixed the issue? Is like all that is required is for a moral company to step forward? And my answer is absolutely not. No. And I have seen GOG do the same, and they're not moral either. Like, I will tell you certain things behind closed doors. It's not actually behind closed doors. You need to just be a Patreon of them to find out. But in the case of Zoom, yeah, they have, I think, like 10, maybe 15 adult games. Most of them are pixelated platformers. Like, nothing wrong with pixelated platformers, but like, come on, no one is coming after those games yet. You know, like, taking a firm stance to defend a video game that's like Mario with hentai, you're not a brave soldier, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the sentiment, right? But like, let's not pretend that they're fixing the problem. Because video games that actually have character development and plot and storyline, and, you know, they delve into darker stuff, like darker fantasy or stuff like that, and they have like detailed life 2D graphics, okay, those are the games that the processors are coming after. And so, when you're going to have a catalog like filled with those games, and then you're going to show the world that you're standing against Visa and MasterCard, well, okay, then the problem is going to start getting fixed. Because people will say, well, look, there's a company with a backbone, and we can support it, we can put our games over there, right? But no, like, currently the problem and the issue remains unresolved. Now, regarding GOG is actually an interesting case. During the pandemic, they needed to make money. So they allowed a lot of adult games to go over their platform. Unfortunately, however, after the pandemic, they stopped talking with Japanese developers and adult creators, and they said, well, they kind of implied that we don't need these kind of games anymore. And so recently they stopped accepting new adult games, and they're focusing more on preserving the games they have. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing either. But again, like, I am saying that these are not the people that have found solution to the problem, right? The problem is that Visa and MasterCard, through their terms of service, have decided to censor pure works of fiction, like writing a book, writing a novel, that type of shit, to the point where they get to decide as if they're the recreation of what it used to be in Eastern Germany under the Iron Curtain. They actually had a porn committee, right? And what they did is like, no, seriously, like they used to have like these middle-aged women that would watch pornography all day, and they would decide if that type of pornography is acceptable or not for the German socialist mindset, right? And this is what people at Visa and MasterCard are actually doing. Like, they're looking at the smut, and they're saying, well, these types of themes in fiction is not okay. And like, again, I understand when it's with real actors. Like, if you go on the internet and you see a video of Belle Delphine kidnapped, and she's dragged into a forest, tied up, and then someone does things to her, right? You as the viewer, like, you know that it's probably okay because it's Belle Delphine, right? But like, if you see any other woman, and by the way, like, this is a legit thing that she did, just so you know what I'm talking about. And she did it specifically to cause assert, and to cause like shocking content that would put eyeballs on her. She was a marketing genius. But anyway, regardless. No, seriously, like, if my business would to go under, like, I would hire Belle Delphine. Like, she can sell Fallout 76, she can probably sell Dragon Age, Failguard. Like, no, like, the woman knows marketing. Moving past that, if you get to see an actual situation, a movie with real people, where a woman is dragged and bad things happen to her, right? You don't know if that is, like, filmed with actors that gave their consent, or if it's, like, a genuine crime occurring. Right? And so, like, payment processors are saying, well, all right, well, we're going to assume that all of them are illegal, so please stop doing that. And that's common sense, right? Like, that's actually protecting people. I get it. Okay? Because they can't tell if the act is illegal or not. And the whole purpose is, like, don't sell illegal stuff, right? So, like, if they don't know if it's a gray area and can't be sure if the stuff is illegal or not, okay. But when it's a book, like, come on. You know? If it's a book, and the funny part is, like, most people aren't even reading these books. Most people aren't even playing these games. And a lot of these games are tongue-in-cheek. They're meant to shock. They're still like, why can't we have shocking content anymore? Like South Park used to be shocking content. Beavis and Butthead used to be shocking content. Jackass used to be shocking content. I grew up with shocking content. Like, what's the issue with it? Why does everything have to cater to everybody? Like, why can't we have niche things, you know, like death metal? Death metal was shocking content that was catering to a very niche audience. And yes, it was immoral and all of that. So what? Why does everything have to be moral, huh? How can we know moral people in our society if everyone is forced to be moral by being constrained? Like, virtue cannot exist without sin. Virtue cannot exist without temptation. Like, I want to see a society where the moral people choose not to do immoral stuff. And the immoral stuff, as long as it's legal, right? And there should be like some common sense. Like, if you're going after video games, I think you're in the realm of pettiness. That's already on the lack of common sense. And definitely Visa and MasterCard shouldn't be the ones deciding that, right? Like, if you think something is so bad, make it illegal. Like, pass a law, right? Like, if it's definitely that damaging. As for the current controversy, yeah, no, it's good that certain companies are coming out and speaking out. But at the same time, people should understand, like, no, the battle isn't won. Nothing was changed. Like, the payment processors are still dominating global trade. Because that's the thing, it's global, right? Like, it's not like regional. Okay, like, people in the United States don't want to play video games that have themes of non-consent. So, like, they don't want to play Game of Thrones, the video game. Alright, fine. But what about Japan? Well, no, like, the Japanese aren't allowed either. Why? Because they're using the same payment processors. Alright, well, what about Taiwan? No, well, Taiwan is not allowed either. Come on, that's ridiculous. Right? Like, you can't decide for every single culture around the world what fiction they're allowed to partake in. Like, that itself is immoral, right? Like, the idea that the for-profit corporate entity should decide for the entire planet what is and isn't moral. Not like through the legislation system, through convincing people, but by simply telling them, no, you're not allowed to do in this type of trade. I think that is immoral, yes. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you on my live stream. Take care.